Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be talking to you about different tools that electricians use and ones that you should have at your house, ones that are optional and ones that are required so that you can do your own basic electrical repairs. One of the first things that's important for an electrician is to be able to tighten and loosen different things like a fastener or a bolt. And so one of the first tools that I recommend to anyone is a screwdriver. This one right here is a 4-in-1. It pulls out and on each side gives a bit with two sides. So on this one is a large flatheads and a large Phillips. So you can choose what you need. And then on the other side, small flathead and small Phillips. So you put these in, you can rotate it around so you get small and large of Phillips and flat, which is the most common ones. Goes in here, it's got a nice grip on it. So this one, pretty cheap, but it does a lot of work. Another thing I use is I have a fancier kit of a bunch of different types of bits. This one I don't use quite as often, but it's very helpful for small things like phones, little repairs, and having a bunch of different bits can be a good way to be able to handle all sorts of different screw openings. Another thing is a pair of pliers that isn't meant for cutting. Right here, I have a pair of slip joints. What that means is it can extend out bigger or smaller. And it's got a circular opening right here, so it's meant with grooves inside of it, so that it's meant to go around pipes, bolts, and different things. And it's just a good tool to have to tighten and loosen different things. Also, a pair of tongue and grooves or some other pair of non-cutting pliers can be helpful for this. After tightening things, one of the next most important things for an electrician is to be able to work with wires. I have a roll of stereo wire here, and I'm going to grab one of my most important tools is a pair of wire cutters. These are useful in wires, but also a whole bunch of other things because they're very strong and they quick work cutting wires here. So cut the wires with my wire cutters, of course. The next thing I'm going to do is, because there's two wires stuck together, that's the nature of a wire, stereo wire, because there's the positive and negative one, I'm going to grab a utility knife. These are useful in all sorts of things, and this one right here is cheap blades. You can replace them, and I'm just going to stick it out a little bit. Just cutting away from me, I'm going to try and split this open. Just real easily, just going to split them apart with that utility knife, makes it really easy. Push that back in there. Then just going to pull these apart. So now we've got two wires to work with. Next thing you can do with these is, well, similar to the wire cutters, you also have needle nose pliers, which I'll talk to in a minute, but these can also cut it. They have a cutting joint inside here, so if you want to cut it, makes it really easy. However, on stronger, thicker wires, thicker gauges, it's not going to be quite as strong. Next thing I have is a pair of wire strippers. These right here make it much easier than what I used to do. I used to just grab a utility knife and hold it by my thumb and just go like this, which if you're in a pinch, that's okay, but it's dangerous using scissors or something like that, and it's just much easier to use these. So I've got a pair right here. I'm going to line it up. If you don't know what the gauge is of it, just start bigger. See, does it work or not? So line it up, get it in there, pull it through. So gave me that part. I'm going to go a little bigger this time, just so we can see. Move that. There we go. So these ones locking fit a bunch of different types, but these wire strippers make it really easy. So as you saw, got this right here. And one of the things that I might want to do is grab the needle nose pliers. It just makes it easier to maneuver this if I'm trying to bend it, make it precise. So needle nose pliers makes this real easy. So those are the tools that, if you want to work with wires, that are very helpful for an electrician. Electricians often need to work precisely. So another tool that's very important is a tape measure. This right here is 30 feet. Usually an electrician only needs 16 or 25 feet. This one makes it real easy. Also, marking device. I have a pencil here. You might also want to have a Sharpie if you're writing on pipes or something like that, where a pencil is not really going to show. So a pencil or a marking device and a tape is going to be crucial for it. Also, once you do that, you're going to want to be able to drill holes. With wires and stuff, there's a whole bunch of drilling holes. Also screws, doing that. And one of my favorite tools and most useful is this drill right here. This isn't the fanciest one, but it gets the job done. Got adjustable chuck. I've got this set of a whole bunch of different drill bits, and I'll just figure out what I need. So a drill even if you aren't an electrician, even if you aren't using it a lot, it can be extremely helpful because it also does so many other things like just screws and general non-electrician specific things. So a drill is definitely one of my favorites to have. Another one that I don't use it a lot, but when I do need it, I'm very happy I have it, is a multi-tester right here. This one has two pointer things, two metal diodes, I believe, and it's used so that you can test the voltage and current of an electrical circuit. It turns on and there's all different settings and stuff. You can do things to see if there's a current running through. So this one, I'm not going to explain how it works. There's a lot of other videos on it, but just search what you need. If you want to see what the specific voltage is, if you want to see the current, if you want to see the resistance, it can probably do it. It's not too expensive. I mean, if you're just a homeowner, you can just get a cheap one, 15, 20 bucks. But if you're a professional, you're going to need a fancier one. So this is something that is not necessary, but if you're doing a little more electrical work, a multi-tester can come in quite handy. One of the last tools I use is a set of electrical tape. This right here is pretty cheap. There's a whole bunch of brands, and what it can be used for is taping things, of course, but the main benefit is because of its rubber content and its chemical makeup, it doesn't conduct electricity. So if I go back to this wire here, and if say I did something and I realized I don't want this stripped anymore, I didn't want this, of course I can cut it, but then also take this. It's pretty nice to work with. I'll just wrap it around a couple times. It's pretty messy right here, but let's see. I just go like this, just rip it, and you can just wrap that around. It's going to give a nice electrically insulated joint that's both strong, like electrical tape is, and non-conducting of electricity. So this right there, that's pretty ugly looking, but that's going to get the job done. So electrical tape is definitely helpful. Similarly, it's important that when you're working with electrical things, you don't want just straight metal tools. You want things like these right here. They all have rubber handles that can stop and insulate against that electricity. So it's very important that you know how conductive or non-conductive your tools are and get insulated tools, insulated screwdrivers if you're going to be working on them a lot. Hopefully you found this video useful, and thanks for watching. And if you have any other tips for us, let us know in the comments or visit us at rdawg.com. That's rdawg.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.